Today it's Thursday, August 8, 2024. This video is for one friend of mine. Usually I'm not making this kind of videos, but I'm gonna make one exception on that because he's far away and I'm trying to help him. Alright, I have a couple of videos like this unlisted that I'm sending the link to my friends. This I might put it public. We're gonna see. We're gonna see how it's gonna be. Removing the alternator on M157 M278. Alright, what needs to be done here? Should I start from down first? Should I start from here front? Let me make it up to show you. Alright, first thing first. You remove the middle cover here and for the front bumper, the cover that has underneath. I'm talking about these two covers. Now here you have plenty of space. Why? Because missing the steering rack. Usually you have a steering rack here. It's convenient to show you what need to be unplugged from here back. One, it's this plug that need to be unplugged, and you remove the plastic cap here, you lose the 30mm nut, and you remove also the positive cable of the alternator. Then from here, let me make it down again, dang it. Okay, back down the car. Then it makes sense to show you on the other car because there is not enough space. Now here you see that it has plenty of space because missing the coolers. Wait. Like I said, the first step is to remove the covers down. Second step is to disconnect the electrical connector and the positive from the alternator. Okay. Then third stage is you remove the radiator fan and then you put on the radiator one piece of carton or one piece of plastic like this one to protect the radiator to don't hit anything. You want to create some space. Then we are coming back to this car. You have removed the radiator fan, you have protect with one carton the radiator. What you are going to do, you are removing this hose, the low radiator hose from here. You're gonna come the coolant out, obviously. You remove also from the radiator side, and then you separate this pipe here to get this hose out. You take it all out. All right. After doing that, you remove this hose here, and this hose doesn't need, but you know, just in case you don't have any headache, you can separate also this hose. 1, 2. This is for the intercooler. This is for the radiator. So you're gonna come out the coolant for the radiator and for the intercooler. All right, from both sides. Then you have plenty of space here. You're coming here on the tensioner. You get 14mm, as far as I remember, 14. Let me double check again. I think it's 14mm. Yes, it is 14mm. You're going counterclockwise. Don't worry, this bolt, it's bolted by turning it counterclockwise. It's not clockwise bolt, so you're not gonna lose it. You're turning it, you're compressing the spring of the tensioner counterclockwise. The ideal is gonna be there to be like this straight, because as far as you are from here, you're near to the center, so you're not giving to you too much leverage. It's tight, this one. You get one pin here to lock the tensioner. It's gonna help a lot. What I'm using, because the pins I have it inside the engine room, usually I'm using 25 Torx. I'm getting a 25 Torx. Let me show you. This 25 Torx I'm talking about, 90 degrees. And when you compress the tensioner, you can just put in place to lock it fully compressed, to be able to remove the belt. Now, for the belt, you don't have to remove completely the belt. You can just slide it out from the water pump and then take it out from here, make it a little bit more high to be clear, to be easy accessible for the alternator. Don't have it on your way, the belt. Then, where am I till now? We make a space to reach on the alternator. We have removed the lower radiator hose, and this hose is here. The belt is out of the way. You have disconnected the positive and the signal from there, from the alternator, and it's remaining now this E12 bolt. All right, it's E12. There is one here up, and there is another one down here. Lovely. You're losing it by 3-4 millimeters. No need to lose it completely. I have a reason why. I'm gonna show you. Now we finish on this side. Now, this alternator, what you see here, it's exactly the same alternator like this one. It's from M157. It's not being removed by me. Alright? It doesn't make any sense to put this so much back. This, when it's tight, to align, to get the space, to don't wobbling, this it's more in. Let me show you, 1 second. Alright. Let us say now that it's tight, the alternator. You're losing the bolt. This is more than enough. This is more than enough. And then you get a hammer, you have a socket, and you're tapping it. You see that it went inside. It went more inside the bolt. Why? Because this one, it went out. So he give you a space to be able to move it. Otherwise, even if you remove the bolt, you're not going to be able to move the alternator. Same thing on the upper bolt. Same thing on the lower bolt. So you just tap it, you remove it like this here, you tap it a little bit, and then it's going out. Sometimes it's stuck. Yeah, you put the socket, you tap the socket, and it comes out. As soon as you do that, you can see that the alternator can be freely, and then you can remove the bolts. Now, you remember that I said to put a carton on the radiator? There is a point. Why? Because you have to take now out the alternator from there and pass it through the radiator and through the engine. Let me show you on the other car. So that's much space what you have. You have to bring it from this side, the alternator, this side, and whatever it's more easy for you. You want to bring it from up, it comes from up, or from down. From down, I haven't tried to take it out from down, but I see that has space. Usually you're taking from up. You're taking it out from here, you bring it here, then you take it out. Whatever it's more easy for you. Finally, you should have the alternator on the table like this one. Now, there is the clutch pulley here front. Let me make it down like this. Yep. But this one, you see, it can turn counterclockwise, it can turn clockwise. Clockwise, it's 1-to-1. Counterclockwise, it doesn't spin. It spins freely counterclockwise. Clockwise, it's engaged with the shaft. Now, it can go bad the pulley, obviously, but it can go bad also the bearings. Has one bearing here, another one bearing back over here. Now, if you spin this alternator, it makes some sound. Most probably the bearings are dry. It doesn't have a move, and it's not so bad. It's good thing to change the pulley. It's not bad thing, and it's a good thing to change the two bearings. There is also here back the voltage regulator. Now we're gonna go. Should I open here? Better to open it here instead of opening inside the engine room, because it's not clean. Obviously, I'm gonna open it here because I'm planning on this alternator to change the two bearings. All right, and I want to see also the brushes, the voltage regulator back. What's the condition? Let me bring the tools for the pulley. Let's keep down the rag. Yeah, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you. Here inside is the nut. Yeah, no need also the bolts. We can remove the bolts from here. Doesn't make any sense to keep it up. This, how the fuck they have done this? I don't know what they have done there. I don't know why they hit it so much. No need to come so much out. 1 second to bring some tools, and I'm gonna show you. I came inside of the engine room because outside I have to turn on the fan and I have better light, and okay, I'm not gonna make a mess. What do you need to remove the pulley? Alright, you need this. You have to get a kit for the alternator. You put this in place. You put this is 17, right? Yes, 17. And then you get the 50 Torx. You put it here. You get the pry bar. You just put it in place. Just a second, let me set it up here. So that's the setup. You have the 50 Torx, that's the shaft inside, and you have this adapter with the 17 millimeters. That's for the pulley. You're not trying to lose this one. This just hold it steady. You're trying with this tool to go counterclockwise to lose the pulley. Let me do it. Then you place your alternator down on the floor because the table is a little bit more high, so I can not put my weight. You hold this down like that, and you just kick literally the 70 millimeters, and it opens. Let's bring it back again up. Do not try with a pneumatic gun or something. Don't. Now that the pulley is loose, you can see that I can remove the pulley. Alright, I don't want to remove it now. Now I want to stay there, the pulley, and place the alternator face down. Now, back over here, on this cover you don't have a nuts. You have this is a plastic only, the grip what has, so you can just lift it up. Usually you might break it. If it's an old alternator, it might break. Alright, the specific one, it's 2022. And why the hell it makes sound? So also the brushes on the voltage regulator is supposed to be fine. By the way, before you do all this, check the price for Vallejo or Bosch alternator. It's exactly the same specs like the OEM. You're not gonna have any problem, trust me. It's up to its owner what you're gonna choose. Some people they want to put the OEM, some other people they want to put OE. If you get a Vallejo or if you get a Bosch or any other brand, it's gonna be fine. Let's open the cover. Opening the cover. When I was saying about the voltage regulator, the brushes, I'm talking about this unit here. This one. This, it's held down by 3 bolts. 1, 2, 3. This 8 millimeters. Let's take it out. It's important to see how to reset again the brushes, because as soon as I'm gonna take it out, you're not gonna be able again to insert it inside. I'm gonna show you how to do it, to insert again inside, because that's all the story actually. All the story is to have the tools, to open the pulley, and to insert again the brushes. It's not a big deal, it's something simple, but if you don't know and you force it or you try, you're never gonna be able to insert again inside. You remember the 3 bolts that I said that's 8 millimeters? It's not, it's 7, I'm sorry. It's 7 millimeters. 8 millimeters are these bolts. Alright, now losing 1, 2, 3 bolts from here, trying to lift up the voltage regulator with the brushes. Now, if it gives you a headache to take it out, that means the shaft inside has too much wear. As we can see here, the shaft is like brand new, and makes sense because the date on that is, like I said, 2022. Why it makes a sound, I don't know. Now, this plastic frame, if it's an old alternator, it might break. Let's deal here with the brushes for the voltage regulator, the controller here, how to call it, this one. You have to push it inside, and then you have to push this cap up to secure it, to hold the brushes inside. I'm gonna show you how it's gonna be. See how it is now, where it's located, this plastic cap, and where are the brushes. When we're gonna put it inside, we're gonna see what I mean. We're gonna see that again. Alright, let me show you now what I did. I just pushed both brushes back inside. 1 second, turn on the light. And I move this cap up. And now it's holding the brushes there inside to be able to install it. Where am I? You're gonna be able easily now to install it. You can install it, you can remove it as many times as you like. At the end, you just have to push this cap again down to release the brushes. Now, I'm talking about an alternator that it doesn't have any problem. It has enough brushes, it doesn't have any problem with charging the battery, it's just only make sound. Alright, that's what I'm talking about. If it has any problem with by charging the battery or something, I don't know if it's worth it. Because if it's the stator or if it's the rotor inside, then yeah, it's not even worth it. If it's only the brushes, if you see that it does have enough brushes, no material, then you can change only this unit if you want. Now, this is the specific part number. You can pause it and check the part number here. But even if you have, let us say, OEM alternator, and you get this one, it will gonna fit. Alright, then let's move on. I wanna see from what in hell it makes this sound. It might be dry bearings, but again, it's not even, it's 2 years old alternator. Let's put this here. One, two, three, 4 bolts. Long one. Oops. There is no problem. Sorry, my nose is itching me. Yeah, there is no problem on how to clock the alternator, because there is specific point, you know. There is this with this, this with this, so you don't even have to make a mark or something. It's straightforward. Now you have to hammer the shit out of it. No, I'm joking. You don't have to hammer it. Tap it gently with a rubber hammer, with a mallet, gently to come nicely out. You have highly chances to break, like I said, this plastic piece here for the rear bearing, especially on the older alternator. All right, but if it's already gone the bearing and you have to change it, you have no choice, right? You have some chances to be able to repair it. I remove the pulley front. I just lose it completely, put it here, and then I tap it here and here with a rubber hammer, like I said, a little bit slowly to come out. Opening the front cover, that's the front bearing. This is the front bearing. It's not that bad, the front bearing, to be honest. You can remove 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts, and then you can take out the front bearing. I'm gonna show you the bearings at the end, not now. All right, we keep this aside. Now we have to remove the rotor from here. It's here on the rear bearing, and I don't want to break this plastic. I don't know if they're giving an aftermarket or if there is a repair kit. I haven't searched for it. And we have some good news. Just by tapping it a little bit, it came out nicely without any problem with the rotor. Just watch now this bearing. It's moving much more than it should. Yep. All right. Then the starter here. Fortunately, I didn't break the plastic piece here. This is the housing for the bearing. Fortunately, I didn't destroy it. I didn't hurt anything all around. I'm happy. I'm placing it like this. I don't want to place this one down or this one. This, you're not gonna have any problem. Just sideways is much better, or back here. All right. So let's keep it here. All right. And now let's remove the 2 bearings. The rear bearing here, this one, to see the number. It's nice and clean. It's lovely. Let's get this number, because this is different than this one. This is bigger, this is smaller. Yeah. It's not very good. You have to put a puller here, and you have to put the puller exactly here in the center. Don't touch this notches here. Don't touch here, here, or here. You have to put it exactly in the center, the puller. Hold the bearing like this, and not need so much effort, and then it's sliding out. But it's important the needle of the puller to be exactly there in the center and to don't have a contact with these 3 notches. Otherwise you'll get destroyed. It's not good. At least me, that's what I'm following. All right, the front one, it's not a big deal. It's just remove this, supposed to be 25 torques. Let me see. Nope, it's 20 torques. This is 20. All right, and this is supposed to have 1 drop of blue Loctite, if I remember right. We can see now. Let's remove this one, that's the easy one, and then, because I have to find the puller. I don't know where I have the puller. This tool no need for now, because after all, I'm gonna need to order the bearings. For the bearings, you can get any good quality bearing. You can get SKF, a Koyo, Timken, good quality bearing made in Japan, in France, in USA. It's gonna work fine without any problem. It's gonna be this. What's this bearings? NSK. What says there? No worries, no worries. At the end, I'm gonna clean it to see what brand is this bearing and the size. You remember that I said that you need a small puller to pull out this bearing? Guess what? I don't have a small puller. I have a big puller that doesn't fit. Now I said to Omar to go to buy two pullers, one small, one medium size, to be able to extract the bearing. So let me finalize the video. What do we have? We have the rear bearing. That the rear bearing is, this is NSK. All right, NSK. And the number is, let me read the number now, 1 second. Let me read it through the phone. 6202DW8. All right, if I'm reading it right. This is the rear bearing, and the front bearing is B17-102DG36. That's the rear one. Yeah, that's the front. Shit. Oh boy, that's the front one. That's the rear one, obviously. Serviceable parts. Like I said, the controller here, the voltage regulator, call it as you like. This with the brushes. This bearing, the front bearing, the rear bearing, and the pulley. Now, in this case, because it's not an old alternator, I'm gonna change only the two bearings. Nothing more, nothing less. Because this is playing and it spins a little bit funny. And the same thing also with this one. When it was on, before I remove it, it was making some sound. Oh no. So to play safe, I'm gonna change both bearings to be everybody happy. Then this, if it does have enough brushes, that means when you open it, if it doesn't come out at least halfway and it's much less brushes, it's not even worth it to close back again this one. You have to get this new one. Lovely. And then to install it, you go with the reverse order. Just you have to be careful how you're gonna press back again in the bearing here. Don't touch the shaft here. Don't touch anything here. Don't touch anything here. Nicely to put it inside. You can put the the bearing in an oven, 67 degrees Celsius, not something crazy. 70 degrees Celsius, you're not gonna hurt at all. You put a little bit oil on the shaft. You have the bearing at 70 degrees Celsius. All right, and you just put it in. You need a closed type bearing. It's from both sides closed type bearing, obviously. Don't install an open type bearing. Okay. And any NSK, like as this one, SKF, Coyote, Timken, whatever you find, good quality bearings, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna work fine. That's it. Now I'm gonna keep it as it is. I'm gonna put it in a not in a box. In a box, it's not gonna be healthy. I'm gonna store it somewhere to don't hit left and right, and standing by for the puller. And then I'm giving a sample, this bearing and this bearing, and I'm waiting for the new one. That's it. I hope that I help you. This, like I said, this is a video for a friend of mine. Okay, he's far away. Otherwise, if you bring me the alternator here or the car here, I can do this for him, and to see if it's worth it or not. Extra careful with this plastic piece here. It might break. Okay, this, don't try to remove it, because you see that it comes from this side in, and it's locking inside. This you have to remove this piece to be able to take it out. So be careful with that. Don't break it, otherwise you're gonna wobble all over the place, because it's holding this bearing, the outer diameter of this bearing. That's it. Like I said, I hope that I help. If somebody didn't understand what I said, do not attempt. All right, just buy a new alternator and call it a day. Anything else? Did I forget something? I don't think so. Thank you very much. Over and out.